Hello and welcome back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie. How are you all on this wonderful Thursday, 19th of September? Are you well and are you ready for another tutorial about another wand card from the wand family? Fire, action, wonderful energy. Always enthusiastic when we get into that. Let me post the link for you, and if you want to join me, you're welcome to do so. Let's put this in and then we can get started. Hello, hi, how are you? I will get back to you. It's been one of those days preparing for this and lots of different things happening. It's been a week actually, one of those weeks, perhaps because of that eclipse, who knows. Anyway, lovely to see you, and you're always welcome, passionate Saji. Do come in and comment and ask any questions that you want to, you know that. Okay, so we're getting ready. So Four of Wands, card of stability, domestic bliss, celebrations, as you can see in that card. And so in the foreground we've got four wands. They're standing firmly planted in the ground, and the opposition with two on either side to systematically, symbolically form an entrance, a door or a gateway. It is a heavy week, you're absolutely right. Frustrating. Frustrating because everything seems to kind of go really fast. I've been on lots of courses this week myself, finding out lots of new things that we can actually do here on Tarot with Anne-Marie. All good, but obviously you have to split yourself into so many different directions. All change, isn't it? Feeling of change in the air. All right, so a garland is crafted out of foliage, flowers, vegetables and fruit, and it's hanging suspended there from the Two of Wands. I know there's four, but you can see what I'm saying. And there's pretty red bows holding the garland in place. Now remember, in tarot, your colours matter, and you'll have your own system for how you want to read certain colours, but the obvious is red is for passion, green is for being grounded, the heart chakra of course, brown is for the past, and yellow is for the solar plexus, blue communication, serenity, and I could go on. So I'm sure you've all got your own systems for that. Once again, my AirPods, only one of them deciding to work. I'm sure it's because it tries to connect to my phone instead of my computer. Anyway, in the background stands a castle or a town, and there is an air of prosperity around this castle. It looks elaborate, and the gardens are very well tended to. Can you see that? And there is a moat separating the castle from the outside world, suggesting privacy and exclusivity. There's a bridge crossing that moat, thereby offering controlled access to who lives or works there and the guests that have been invited. Two richly dressed female figures stand in front of the castle, which is framed in the garland entrance. Their floral headpieces are in keeping with the foliage of the garlands, suggesting an effort in creating a look or a style for the very occasion. The females are waving nosegays above their heads, and they look joyful and exuberant in their stance. There's an air of anticipation and excitement in their waving, as if they're welcoming the arrival of someone very special. And they may have a role to play in the events that will take place inside of the castle. So this is not their everyday clothes or attire, and the females have worked hard to make sure that everything is in place. In the background, we can see several figures down there on the left side of the card interacting with each other. So this might be the staff attending last minute details, setting out tables, chairs, carrying trays, refreshments, snacks, whatever. But they might also be residents of the castle or invited guests. There's a strong family energy permeating the imagery of this card, a sense of lineage or blood connections. The Four of Wands symbolises the strength and the support amongst the family members, and the image could suggest a family gathering, get together, a reunion, a homecoming, as relatives gather to catch up on each other's lives. As children, they're paying respect to their elders, and they are recalling those that have already gone and passed away. So this is lineage, and this is a community energy sharing memories and familiarity. Don't forget, again, we have a stage card. If you look at the bottom of the card there, underneath the two female figures, or what looks like two females, we've got that line which suggests it's a scene on a stage. Now the foreground is very flat and very uniform in colour, and the background depicts a scene like a backdrop in that of a play. So the Four of Wands resembles props, and the figures are the actors, and the castle and the moat are constant. The wands, the garland, and the richly dressed people may come and go, taking their turn to stage an event or an occasion for their own style or taste. Today we have the exclusive use of this castle, whether it belongs to them or not, and its grounds. And this might suggest a very special grand occasion, which we're all used to doing, familiarity of weddings, gatherings, this kind of thing. But the Four of Wands is also known to be a home card, and the scene ideally lends itself to family gatherings and our domestic life. And the two female figures are waving through the entrance, and they could be waiting the arrival of a happy couple as they make their formal entrance into the celebrations. It could be where the gathering is about to be held. The castle, of course, implies wealth, grandeur, power and status. Those who stand on the far side of the moat in the castle might actually live there. Their luxurious clothes and everyday attire we can't see, but the figures in the background could be, as we said, staff or family members. The females wave out to draw attention to their wonderful life. They're happy, carefree, and nothing to worry about for today. And the intense yellow sky, I was talking about colours earlier, gives the impression of brilliant sunshine or heat. The castle and the grounds might also represent home and family, and the image suggests expense and privilege. But that very much depends on the perception of those who live or frequent in the castle, regardless of the feeling that this is the best place in the world to be. Life's good, all is well. Be it stately or humble, the Four of Wands planted in the ground gives an impression of stability, structure, strength. And this could be the front door that leads to the centre of home, a place where we most feel comfortable in that version of ourselves. And the figures in the doorway wave proudly, declaring that this is where they live or where they are coming from. Everything about the interior reflects their personal style and taste. And the door open suggests a warm welcome to all the visitors. But the moat and the bridge remind us that there is a need to protect and defend that which they have built and where they reside. This is where real life truly happens, where they actually have their families, they rear their children, they eat their food together, they celebrate occasions and holidays where good times are enjoyed and hard ones are endured. No one can vouch for what goes on outside of the gateway of the Four of Wands, but once inside, it's a haven of security and stability. So nothing can disturb the harmony that's created within it. And the Four of Wands also symbolises laying down foundations, marking your territory, claiming your space, and building upon that. There is a sense of permanence coming from this, like a homecoming or coming back home in the position of this card, the Four of Wands, because it looks like it's four wands are standing like fortress walls. Excuse me, sorry, I'm going to grab a sip of water. So it takes great team effort and ambition and commitment to yield magnificent results like this, don't you think? You know, putting on the attire and putting on the welcome, and it can suggest the family home where our roots lie, where our personality was formed, where memories were created. Right, I'm going to take my sip of water, but I'm going to put our keywords for the week on about the Four of Wands. I'll be back. See you in a moment. So, thank you for that. I've had my sip of water, now I'm refreshed. So, this is a place where you can always return to, home, visit, or escape to. So, if we look at the two wands that are joined by bows, this can suggest the union of those who are responsible for the occasion, that it's been celebrated there in the imagery, and that's on the left and the right of the first wand and the fourth wand. And they are retaining their uniqueness in the single ones that stand beside them, but the bloodlines will join in the creation and the offspring and the production of this union. So the roots sink deeper and firmer as the family grows and expands. So stability, lineage, family, homecomings. In the four, we will find manifestation, something solid and something tangible, something that can be relied upon, leaned on, and depended upon, that we've built. So there's a lot to celebrate for this group in this imagery. They've all contributed to the success of this occasion. The garland that's draped around the wands is very heavy with fruit and vegetables, and beautifully symbolizing the fruits of their labor. Their harvest is in the time that they've been waiting for this. The work's done. They can feel proud of their achievements. Time to celebrate the gathering of fruit and veg. The strong yellow sky in this card symbolizes that it's a bright and uplifting time to be experienced by all. The abundant yellow and orange foreground also suggests a time of great confidence, self-esteem, joy and vitality. So the Four of Wands stands equally balanced, appropriately, the stability, harmony, prosperity, prosperity enjoyed by everybody. Even the wind has cooperated with their plans. Look at that, it's all still. No breeze is disturbing the garlands as they're hanging between the two wands. We do have cards, don't we, such as the swords, where we can actually see the wind is blowing. Here, the air is very calm and very still. So the settled weather, which is what we all hope for when we've got a gathering or a celebration, a wedding or whatever it is, filters through to the gathering, allowing the figures to relax and to be at ease. Nothing can disturb their very special day. So this is a card that's bringing freedom, liberation on lots of different levels. For the time being, the figures in this image are free to set aside the daily grind, and they're allowed to have that time to dress up and enjoy. and we're entering the scene of the Four of Wands, we can see immediately what looks like two women who joyfully wave bouquets of flowers above their heads. So women appear to have paid particular attention to their outfits, and they wear elaborate arrangements of flowers in their hair to signify that. And in the foreground, just like bridesmaids can have flowers in a headdress. And in the foreground, the Four Wands are standing there, and they've got garlands of the fruit and veg, as we said, and they're positioned in a manner which makes them look like it's an entrance or a doorway of some sort. That's very deliberate, because the background is the castle or the town. We don't know which. It looks like a castle, but it could be within a town. There's lots of different turrets there, roofs. And so there's an air of prosperity, and it looks elaborate, and the gardens look very well tended to. Other people in the background are carrying out the various tasks, and these people are part of the same group who've gained admission through that wonderful garland doorway. And the cards bring with it a wonderful sense of belonging and feeling as if they're part of something very special. The two women seem to be focusing their attention on the entrance or the doorway. So it looks like a very important day, a day that everyone has been waiting for and planning. So their outfits and hairstyles tell us that. And the building's got a sense of excitement and exuberance in the air. And we feel that, they're very excited about what's next. So the arrival or the homecoming of someone very important, or the actual welcome for the pleasant and thrilling surprise. Now, some more key words about this card are, of course, always remember this is stability. It's protection, security, contentment, putting down roots, very important, feeling at home, and very important key word, domesticity. Domestic bliss, of course, even DIY. But it's a big card of moving home, job, or country. Can be renovations at home, of course. So properties, where we live. Doesn't mean we have to own one, but it's talking about the dwelling, the home. So the Four of Wands is connected, of course, to family and family gatherings and maybe some homecomings and celebrations, contentment, excitement, and a great sense of joy. And it indicates that you're entering a stable period within your life. So if you draw this card, it's a time to feel supported by everything, the structure, and support from all of the other people that are around you. It can signify a move to a new home, as I said, country, environment, or workplace. Don't forget that one. Depends where it comes up in the spread, of course. And that's highlighted in this card. So it also suggests that the person that's going to this event is going to get a very warm welcome awaiting them. So wherever you're going, whether it's temporary or permanent, is a strong, supportive structure, network of people surrounding you. Once through the entrance of the Four of Wands, which we can say is a gate or a door, you'll experience that bond or that sense of community spirit where you will be automatically accepted. Remember, with the wands, fire, action, generally don't like to sit still for very long. So all of our Aries, Leo and Sagittarius will probably be able to identify with what that means. But we all have aspects of that perhaps in our natal chart. It'd be very unusual if we have one of the elements missing. Of course you can, of course. Sometimes people have no earth, no air, no fire in their chart. Why do I mention that? Because we are all different aspects. We are not just our sun sign. So this card heralds a successful achievement of the desired outcome of the situation or a project due to hard work and determination. And the Four of Wands can highlight the settling in period because we put down roots of some sort of kind. Doesn't mean we have to own the property. It just means we've made a decision from that ace that we were offered in the Ace of Wands, where we started to weigh up, what shall I do, what shall I do? Then the creative process came in and we went off, took that so-called risk and went into enterprise. We explored opportunities. Now it's returned back to us: stability, order, security, and your life is now stable after a period of upheaval, movement and transition, just like I mentioned with the cards leading up to this. It's also highlighting a period of contentment, which is really nice for the Wand family, and the Four of Wands often brings a sense of freedom, release from an oppressive situation, something that was binding you and you found yourself caught up in. It's gone. When the Four of Wands appears, you're now experiencing that all those restrictions carried a message that you have liberated yourself. Doesn't get much better than that, does it? And this liberation might be on the physical, emotional, mental, or spiritual level. So the position of the Four of Wands takes the form of that gateway, which symbolizes that you've gained membership, admission, or acceptance by a particular organization, club, college, establishment, crew that works really well for you. If this comes up and we've got a question to the tarot, which is relationship, love and relationships, it suggests that the person that's seeking the reading is settling into a relationship and starting to feel very safe and very secure. So deep commitments can signify plans for the future, engagement parties, marriage, weddings. It is known as the wedding card because of the celebration and what looks like, as I said, bridesmaids, but really it's about the stability that you've been through a lot. Action. You've worked hard. Now it's the rewards. Now it's time to actually say, you know what, here we are, friends and family, welcoming the support of this community and its celebrations. I live in a village, and it's a bit like if there's a wedding here, everyone is invited. They may not have much, but they are celebrating with music, with drums, with very humble things to eat or drink. Sometimes it's, I remember once we had to share just a carton of juice between us. No matter. We were invited, we were welcomed, we were accepted, we were part of that community. And so on a domestic front, this card indicates a very settled time, acceptance. And especially in a relationship, it's talking about maintaining the relationship and building on its existing strengths. So the couple might have decided they're going to set up home, not tarot is old-fashioned, therefore it can be living together or setting up home together or making some sort of commitment, agreed commitment, like that of signing documents or betrothal of some sort, the way that things can sometimes be. Bear with me a minute, I'm so sorry, didn't see that cross my screen. Sorry about that. If anyone ever sees that, just say to me, Anne-Marie, you've got it's a clear pain that sort of comes up on my software, and I really do apologise for that. Different scenes have got different things, right? So as a couple, life's definitely on the up for you if this is a relationship or love reading. And so it's just saying, keep up the good work, well done. In career or business, this indicates settling into a new environment, new job, work environment where everybody is very encouraging and very supporting. So I hope you're getting the feel of this card. It's about welcoming you, and it's about security, stability, and support. So the support is from the structure of the property, albeit you might be renting a tent, a flat, whatever, buying a first home, or moving in together, paying the rent together, whatever it is. But it's also about the people around you being supportive and encouraging, and that doesn't always mean that it's our home. It can be the dwelling where we work. Depends where it is in your spread, and of course it depends on the question being asked in the reading. So everything is new and exciting, and you'll probably be really thrilled that you've made a decision to join this community or this workplace or this neighbourhood or this dwelling where you're living. It's a happy move. The Four of Wands does show two happy people dancing, celebrating with flowers in their hands, and in the foreground, beautiful wreath which blossoms with grapes and suspends between the wands. See that? Together, these elements represent the joy and satisfaction that comes from achieving a milestone or a goal of some sort that's important to you. And we see the people in the background that are standing in front of the large castle, which the castle's representing the safety and the comfort of home. So in general, the Four of Wands is a card of joyful celebrations, blissful happiness, appreciation for the good things in life. And when this card appears in a tarot reading, it's the perfect time to celebrate with those that you love the most. You might be commemorating an event or a milestone, anniversaries, birthdays, reunions, homecomings, that kind of thing. So it's not just properties or dwellings where we work. Or you might be invited to a gathering by some of your favourite people for no particular reason, just they like you and they revel in your company. So it's time to relax and enjoy the special time. So this is a really lovely card. You've worked hard, now you're getting the rewards. Security, comfort, feeling at peace, feeling that you are supported, that you can be that version of yourself, and that whatever they've got, they're sharing with you, and I'm sure it goes without saying you'll do the same in return. So this can be a card of returning home to familiar people, places, but you're supported knowing that you are loved and cared about and well liked, because Four of Wands associates so closely with the home environment, and you might work in improvements of the home or renovations of your house, or you might be close to looking for one or finding one. Maybe you recently purchased a home or you're ready to settle down into your new habitat. And the Four of Wands tells you that after a period of rapid growth and expansion, i.e. the Three of Wands, it's now time for you to pause and celebrate what you've achieved up to now. So it's about stepping back and enjoying the fruits of your labour, acknowledging your hard work, as I said, and giving yourself that permission to enjoy and take that small break. Everything. We've had the harvest, we've done the hard work, now we're embarking on the next phase of this journey. So it's essential that you're able to look at these small milestones in life, or maybe these large ones. In numerology, the number 4 symbolises stability, firm foundations, and with the Four of Wands, you're now enjoying security and happiness. So this is a card that's indicating harmony and balance, completion, and it's a time of peace and contentment. But that's come about through your hard efforts, and you've probably fought for them and remained consistent, and you've took action. If you've been working on a project, you'll reach an important milestone if this card comes out, which will give you cause to celebrate. If you've just wrapped up a project, Four of Wands is personal gratification of a job well done, a goal attained, vision that you've actualized and realized. If it's, again, career, work, finances, it suggests, again, that you're achieving milestones at work. You know, you might have been there for 10 years, you might have hit business targets, or you might have actually come up against a major project that's come to completion that was a success. So it's time to celebrate. And this is, you know, your colleagues and maybe even your superiors thinking very highly of the hard work that you've put in, and it's that acknowledgement for that hard work. So you've earned right to be able to feel secure in your career, your job, and you've performed well, and you're growing and stretching yourself. So if this card pops up in a career-related reading, it's unlikely that you are changing a career. It's more likely that you are staying in or planning to stay in this field. In finances, it's saying you can celebrate the stability regarding your finances, security. Your hard work's paid off, and now it's paying out dividends, or you're maturing in your savings of some sort. Personalities. Well, the Four of Wands personalities are very optimistic, balanced, of course, that Four of Wands. They're very authentic, and they're very content as people. And they carry a sense of stability and certainty in their lives when nothing really throws them, you know, because they're grounded. And so this quite often pops up in a reading. And, you know, if you do my courses, you'll know where to look, where to find out who, what, where, when, how about that person. Go and have a look at my website, tarotwithemry.com. You'll find the courses on there. These people are likely to be very sociable and actively involved in the community with family and friends. So they like having a good time, and they celebrate all the beautiful things in life. But they've also got a reputation for putting on a really nice spread, party, celebration that brings everyone together. It's well thought out. Never equate it with, oh, it's very grand and it's the amount and it's the type. It may be, but it's usually the involvement of feeling very, very welcome, you know, by certain communities. There are incredibly friendly communities in this planet. Relationship and love, if we get the Four of Wands and people go, crikey, how on earth could I read this? Well, if it's a romantic partnership, it's talking about the fact that this person feels very grounded. It's based on solid friendship, kinship, positive energy, a time of peace, stability, harmony within that relationship. It's also, and you get the Four, because of its stability, it's also a time to be genuinely grateful for everything that you share together and to celebrate the beauty of your connection. So it's a sunny season when you want to be with the people that you love the most, isn't it? If you're looking for love, and this comes up in a reading, I say you, whoever, let's just keep it simple. This suggests that you'll soon find someone that makes you happy, and the relationship is probably based on stability and potential for the future. It's very grounded, being facilitated or encouraged by your friends or your family members. You know, they are backing you, supporting you. And if you're in a relationship, the Four of Wands is often a sign of the next stage, like a commitment, an official commitment like moving in together, engagement, marriage, or even starting a family. So it's the next step, the next part of the growth that's the natural area. So rather than go, I see marriage, like an old fortune teller would, you kind of go, well, you're going through a period of growth, or you talked about living together, or you getting engaged, or are you skipping that part and maybe going straight into having a family? People do things in different order. It's not our job to go, I'm going to predict a marriage. I'm right, 9 times out of 10, you might be, and you might not. And that's not nice for the person going, I don't want to get married. I really don't. I don't want to hear this. So just be careful when you're doing your readings, how you actually deliver great positive news, but don't get carried away, because people can get very upset, because that's not their version of happiness. That's yours. Supported many a reader that's kind of put their foot in it, but we can always turn around and go, actually, that was silly of me to mention it like that. I do apologise. Let me say it like this, if they get a second chance, of course. So it's a harmonious time. Energy, great energy flowing in this card. Commitment to each other, and that's increasing because it's built on solid foundations. And this isn't like the Tower card that was beautifully built but no stable foundations. So slightest bolt of lightning or a little earth tremor, it was never going to stand up. It's almost like it was built on sand, isn't it? This is not. This is right down, deep down into the bowels of the earth. So your solid foundation is established with each other. And so now you can start celebrating and enjoying what you've worked towards in your partnership. If somebody's asking about their spirituality, what's the spiritual advice? 4 of Wands, I get all of this. So I'm just, unless you ask me, I will just go over the kind of questions that I'm asked daily. 4 of Wands reflects a sense of gratitude and appreciation for all that's built in your life so far, and your relationship with yourself and with others. Spiritually, it's important that you are at peace with your current circumstances and that you're feeling very blessed and serene in what you already have. If it's about our well-being, well, the 4 of Wands is about being stable in your well-being, and recent accomplishments mean that, if you're thinking about, I wanted my well-being for me to be healthier, maybe to lose some pounds or some weight, whatever, it's a good card to say that your positive attitude is going to carry on further assisting you in your well-being. So again, I'm just going to repeat number 4. It can be about willpower, logic in numerology, and realization. So lots of keywords coming in numerology. We're talking about color. This is, a lot about this card. And I'm putting something together where I am trying to sort of give you some sort of worksheet, PDF or something like that. It kind of tells you what makes, a successful paid reader, and some of the pitfalls of those where people didn't make it as a successful reader. That can quite often be the case. And what did they do wrong? Most times it's very simple. They just do not have enough knowledge of the cards. They're not using enough cards. So that's a start. Think about that. Add more cards, increase your knowledge of the cards. It's got to be a win-win situation. So this is a card of enjoying domestic life with your loved ones, your friends, your family. Maybe there's improvements in your surroundings and a time to celebrate that. Maybe you are changing scene, having some DIY done and changing the aesthetics of the place. So There's a feeling of pride and happiness when you get this card, and that your home life is boosting your confidence. So it brings a time of comfort, celebration, enjoyment of domestic life. And this can be an area where we're surrounded by those who care for you and you care for them. At times, this card can be a surprise, like something delightful out of the blue coming into your world. And the security of your home life being very important. You'll feel settled, content within personal situations, which obviously improves your well-being, your clarity in life, and your purpose to grow. This might lead to some improvements in your surroundings, like DIY projects, house moves, this kind of thing. Sometimes people say it's holiday, or, maybe having a second home. If you're lucky enough to do that, maybe you take, a little caravan or cottage or whichever, an apartment, people do, But the stability here, and it's stability around your loved ones, i.e. family, bringing family gatherings together, or people that you liken, that feel like family. Sometimes people say, I don't get on with my folks. Well, it could actually be people that feel as if they're part of your family setting. You consider them, that person's like a sister to me, more than my own sister. Don't, whatever it means is what we're saying. Family ambience, even if they're not blood relatives. But it can be, of course, we mentioned that. And of course, this is a card of celebrations like engagements, weddings, christenings, baptisms, bar mitzvahs, the uniting of a community. Maybe you're all of the same faith, maybe you're all the same location, it might just be the village, the neighbour, big event, a gathering. But it's a time to feel very safe and relaxed while that action's still going on around you. But it's a time to rest from that action for you, with the security of knowing that everything's fine and that you do deserve a happy and peaceful time. All's well on the home front. It's as simple as that. Okay, any questions, anybody? Is there anything you would like me to sort of run through for you? I'm sorry about that silly old window that came up on there. Let me show you this. Okay, well, I've got a PDF on the website there, keywords. There's many different PDFs to help you with keywords, and I go right through the 78 cards and show you a lot of things there, as in that will help you. So if you want that, you'll find that on my website. Very cheap, nice worksheet that will help you through that. And if you've missed any of the tutorials, here's where you look. Jump onto YouTube, look under the playlist, which I call a podcast. Podcasters Learn Tarot. I've got 2 of them. And this one looks like this. We began with the 4. You can learn each card. We've done a tutorial per week on Thursdays about each card. And I'm pressing the wrong button. Sorry, folks. This is where you'll find it. It's like, why is my YouTube channel not coming up? tarotwithanne-marie.com. Please do subscribe and do share with somebody that you feel might benefit from this tutorial or these lessons on tarot. Okay, I am a bit different. I do go into an awful lot of detail. Oh, I have. I'm so pleased for the wonderful feedback. Passionate Sagittarius, I am so very, very grateful to know how it's having an effect on you. I need that feedback, because then I know what to do more of or less of. I know that viewers are not watching the full hour or 40 minutes. They haven't got time. But they can pause it and come back to it and watch it in the podcast when they have got time. So what's the point in skinning it down and just giving you the basics? As we were saying earlier, if you want to be a good reader, keep growing. Just keep growing. And, your growth might not be the same as her on the left or him on the right. It might be very different. You might be streets ahead or you might be way behind. You're unique. What you say, you need to know that. But don't be confident if you don't actually know your tarot, and don't go reading for people, because it's a responsibility. Even if you're reading for friends and family, they'll hang on your words, although, make you feel bad and go, oh, that's a load of rubbish, I don't want to know that. Don't put yourself in those situations. We all do, but if you have, remember them and make sure that you're being valued. And if you're not feeling valued, look at maybe why. Maybe you need more information. Maybe you need to know there is a system. And you're probably seeing little things that are adding up, as in the tutorials that I'm saying to you, Ace of Wands. Then you're being given, here you are, here's here's a little gift. Get going with that. See what you do with that. I've given you a head start. I'm not going to do it for you. That's what the Ace of Wands actually means. Two of Wands. Oh gosh, what do I do with that? Should I this? Should I that? Three of Wands. What can I create? How can I make this happen? How can I make this work in my favor? What is it that's going to make this happen? How can I create? How can I collaborate? How can I cooperate? How can I grow? How can I actually expand? How can I explore? And then, when you've done that, it gets to the Four. And I could go on, of course, but life doesn't work out like that. We know that. And that's why we have the Tarot to go, where did I go wrong? Why didn't I get the rewards? The Four of Wands is the card of rewards, and saying to you, you've got stability now, steady. Enjoy, celebrate. Yes, I did talk about family, and people are not always, world's a very small place now, we're all scattered. Not always possible. But your version of a family, people that you actually feel really get you and support you and care about what happens to you, and you care about them, and it's about gathering and saying, yeah, we're feeling pretty good. Even like in this village, they're harvesting at the moment, but they'll gather and there'll be all sorts of things that come up, melons, pumpkins, pomegranates, whatever it is. There'll be an abundance, and there'll be something where they'll probably make some pomegranate juice, which is a normal thing, or whatever it is. It's shared. But the community is to sort of say, we worked really hard for that, didn't we? That time we actually sat back and went, yeah, we're okay. We're going to have enough food to see us through till the next harvest. We are going to be able to sell what we've harvested. So we're going to have enough money to pay the heating. That's a very old-fashioned way. I live in a very small village, and it's very old-fashioned. It's a gentle reminder about some of the humble things. Milestone. A Four of Wands is a milestone. It's also about your dwelling. It just symbolises the place where you can be that comfortable version in a safe place of yourself. Nowhere else. It doesn't matter what you've got. It doesn't matter if you are in a prefab. It doesn't matter if you're in a tent. It doesn't matter if you're in an RV. Life happens, I've lived in some hell holes in my time. In London, what can you afford, especially, when you're starting out and you were a live-in nanny and you suddenly want to be a live-out nanny, and back then the wages were not that different. But I didn't want to be living with the family I was working with 24/7. I just didn't want that for my life forever. I wanted to get away from that. And so, yeah, you grow. But the first place, that dwelling, it was a celebration. It's like it's an achievement. And it was an achievement to come out of being a live-in nanny to a live-out nanny. Wasn't celebrating the pay because it was not very good, and it wasn't perhaps the smartest decision financially, but it was the growth that I needed to say, okay, so this doesn't pay. And, you know, looking at what you're doing, it felt like I was rinsing and repeating it over and over again. My tarot, I didn't feel that I knew enough to read for people. I used to go to lots of big shows in Camden, Kensington, all around London, up and down the country, to the seaside areas, up north, you name it, down south, Hastings, too many to mention, far too many to mention, Derby, Nottingham, and it goes on, Manchester, London, Brighton, they're all there. And that was kind of how it was, because we weren't lucky enough to have the internet in the way, you know, that we have. And I was intimidated by readers that made me feel that I wasn't good enough. You should never feel like that. And I did feel like that, and I feel very much people. But when you actually realise that if you know enough to be able to give somebody a reading that's really kind of telling them what they need to know and what you can tell them, if you can answer their question and look at it in your spread and not put your spin on it, but you're the interpreter. But you can only interpret something if you actually have learned the alphabet. So that's why you can take what you want. And people say, how will I know whether it means this or that and the other? Do my courses. That's how you find out how that works. But one step at a time, you know. Do this, learn your keywords, get different decks if you want to. But I would actually say good old Rider-Waite will give you tons of symbology and meaning that you'll miss in other decks. All right. Any questions, anybody? No? No? Okay. Right. I will see you next Thursday. Have a beautiful weekend. Take care of yourself and each other. Until next time, everybody. Bye for now.